Hi, it's Kim McGrath from Expressions of the Universe with your 2025-2026 astrology forecast. And we're coming into a brand new era. It's an unprecedented time in astrological history and in our own personal histories. This video will be time-stamped for the specific chapters. I have a lot to cover. I've never seen so much change happening astrologically at one time ever in my lifetime, but even going back through history. There's so much happening. This will probably be a long video. I also have this in a companion blog at expressionsoftheuniverse.com, and you'll be able to access that way through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Linktree, respectively. So let me get started. Oh, and I wanted to point out, I am going to do a tarot and oracle card reading for all zodiac signs in a separate video. There's so much to cover in this video that I didn't want to mix it and take away from everything that's happening astrologically in 2025. Plus, also, I wanted to sit down with the cards and really come from a more grounded space. I want to do a reading for the collective with the tarot for the entire year of 2025, month by month, like I usually do, and then break it down by each zodiac sign. I don't have any charts in this video. I'm just going to be giving you the facts, but there's so much to cover. And in addition, I am going to break down each of these chapters over the coming weeks and focus on each of the changes individually. And that would probably maybe include cards, stars, and cards together. I've got the whole entire year ahead of me, and luckily it's not all happening at one time, so I can spread it out over the course of the year. So in my blog article, I start off by just explaining, it has been said that we were born for these moments of monumental and historical changes. 2025 through 2026 promises to be the beginning of what astrologers have been speaking about for decades. It will be written in the history books. Change is the name of the game. In this installment, I plan on breaking down the nitty and the gritty, trying to keep everything high level since there is so much information to cover. 5 of our most influential planets will be entering new signs during this period. That's why I put 2025, 2026. A lot of these planets will enter a new sign, but then they will retrograde back in to the previous sign. So we do have a lot of cyclical back and forth like we always do, which also gives us a chance to integrate these planetary changes, which is great. So it's not just thrust upon us. Now I lost my space. So yeah, 5 planets, 5 of the major planets and the nodes moving into new signs during this period. Jupiter changes signs every 12 months. Saturn every 2.5 years. Uranus every 7 years. Neptune every 14 years. And Pluto every 12 to 31 years, depending on what sign it is in. Some signs move these planets along a little bit quicker. The average for Pluto is about 20 years. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto mark certain eras in history and generational significance. What makes this time frame so powerful and potent is that in 2025, all of these planets are changing signs, signifying major shifts in the world and in our lives. To put the planets in perspective and why these shifts are significant are due to the eras of history. The collective of people that are born during these times create a collective dynamic. The events that occur can be documented. That's how astrologers work. We have to claw back through time and see when these planets were in these signs and what happened in the world during these times. I'm keeping this pretty high level and not getting so far into the minutia. I'll do that when I break down each of these transits individually over the coming weeks and months. We can look back in history to discover the possibilities of what may come for the future. While the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, and Venus, and Jupiter move rather quickly when compared to the outer planets, I just found a typo in my notes. Those outer planets, the planets that move so slowly, they hold a significant flavor in our lives. The social outer planets have a greater impact because they move so slowly and they stay in a sign for so long. Jupiter takes 12 years to orbit the sun and run through all of the zodiac signs. Saturn takes 30 years to orbit the sun and run through all of the zodiac signs. Uranus, 84 years. Neptune, 165 years. And Pluto, 248 years. These are rounded up from the exact movement because they have to be specifically calculated. So I'm just giving you the rounded up figures. 2025 is the foundation for what is to come in the next 3 years. 2025 is all about cleaning up our past, and that is the way that we will build for the future. We clean the slate for the future, cleaning up our inner and outer lives on every level, emotionally, financially, socially, and professionally. Anything that is still lingering and unresolved, any remaining places where we may still be holding onto the past in a negative way, will be collapsing. Anywhere we still may be holding resentment, or where we are not at peace in our hearts with our past or even our present, and anyone that still may be holding on to, that we're still holding on to in that space and in an inappropriate way. There is much work for us to be done. There's much work for us all to do and be done in 2025. So before we unpack all of this, and I'll show you my visuals and my presentation, we have the typical daily, monthly moon cycles in this presentation, retrogrades, eclipses, not to mention I'm breaking down all of those big changes. I do have a couple of notable quotes, though, from some esteemed astrologers. And I want to start with Georgia Stathis, who I love. She's a financial and mundane astrologer, and I just hold her in so much regard. But she's describing this time period as a toxic waste management period, where we are dumping our toxic waste, whether that be spiritually, financially, mentally, physically. We have to clean up our acts on every single level, body, mind, and spirit. And I'm paraphrasing what she said. Let me see. Let me look at my notes. I'm sorry. And one of the quotes that she had said, what I really liked is like, when we go through this full toxic waste management purge, head to toe, inner and outer, body, mind, and spirit, financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, we arrive in 2026, having done that work and that purge, we show up in 2026 dressed for the party. So how fantastic is that? I love that she had said that. Um, Another quote, I believe this was from, no, this is from Georgia. Like, so Neptune is currently in Pisces, and it's wrapping up in that 29th degree. A lot of these planets, before they get ready to move into these new signs, they have to hit that final 29th degree. And they will be going back and forth over that. It kind of opens us up psychically, especially Neptune and Pisces, and it makes us very spongy, and we're able to absorb a lot that's going on around us in our inner and outer world. So it's going to be very important for us to stay super grounded and extremely discerning about what we are allowing ourselves to consume, whether that be food, social media, television media, social interaction. You know, we're going to be able to just absorb it. So how do I say this? A lot of the things that we see and interact with on a daily basis, we become numb to. So we don't even realize sometimes how toxic people and places and things are. So it's going to be really important for all of us to follow our hearts and our guts. The gut is such a good barometer for our overall health, and especially our emotional and physical and mental health, even I guess spiritual health. And so really tapping into our own intuition and being very discerning and just purging whatever doesn't feel right. Stop going with the flow. Stop agreeing to things. Stop agreeing to situations or people, or, following the crowd. We're not going to be following the crowd. This is about individualism so that we can show up at that party well dressed in 2026. I think that kind of sums up what I wanted to say about that. Um, there are a lot of energy and psychic vampires around us. And I think if you're watching this, a lot of you can say yes and attest to that. So we're in a very absorptive, I can't say it, absorptive state right now. Like I said, like a sponge. Um, and you may not feel that way normally, but we're in that phase right now. So it's going to be important for us to do that big purge. Um, Another esteemed astrologer, Christopher Renstrom, likens a lot of this energy to hyper masculinization, what's going on in the entire world. And it's coming from this wounded place. And that will definitely have to be healed. Now, remember, no matter what your gender or identity, we all have a masculine and a feminine side. Oh, that's hot coffee. But you can see what's happening in the world with the male gender to begin with. And a lot of the violence and the anger and the craziness is from wounded masculinization. And um, I guess I will talk more about that when I individualize these transits specifically. Tapping into the earth is going to be a big key for all of us, especially our gut health and our microbiomes for overall health and well-being. And I think that pretty much covers those opening notes that I wanted to talk about. Now I'm going to share my screen and show you my presentation. Hopefully I won't be on here for hours. Tried to make it entertaining and succinct and just give you high level of what's happening. And then we'll dive into the minutia, the details in the coming weeks and months. So we are entering a brand new era. And I have this time period because, like I said, with retrogrades, that back and forth motion, uh, we're dipping in and out of these changes over 2025 and into the beginning of 2026. Of course, you know, I have my disclaimer that the content in this presentation is for entertainment, enjoyment, and folly. All right, first up from my Llewellyn's 2025 Daily Planetary Guide, I have the full and the new moons listed here. And like I mentioned, I have all of these slides in my blog article at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. So feel free to go to that. You'll see right down here in the corner, that's my website. You'll be able to make a copy of any of these slides. And as long as you credit me when you're using it, I'm good with that. So moving on, you want to take a screenshot of that real quick. If not, go to my website and you'll be able to see all of these dates. Then from that same Llewellyn's planner, I know this isn't the best picture, we have the 2025 retrograde planets. And we're starting off the year. Mercury, as I'm recording this, Mercury is just about to go direct in Sagittarius at 6 degrees. And it will remain in shadow until January 2nd of 2025 when it hits 22 degrees of Sagittarius. But the first planet that's actually going direct in 2025 is Uranus on January 30th, and then so on and so forth. This slide is also in my blog at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. One thing to point out, all of the Mercury retrogrades in this coming year are in water signs. So we're currently in 24 in fire signs. Now we're going to move into water signs. So if you are a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, you will be most affected by the 2025 Mercury retrograde planets. Mars is currently still in retrograde in Leo. This is a very long transit. Now, it ends in February, but I believe it takes all the way to May, maybe the beginning of June, until it's completely out of its shadow. So that will be dipping back into Cancer for quite some time and then moving back through Leo. Venus. So this is a big one. Venus is getting ready to retrograde. Not sure. Wait, I do have my Llewellyn's planner here. Venus retrograde on March 1st. Let's see what sign that's in. Because Venus rules money. And one of the symbolizations for 2025 is definitely going to be financial. Why does it not say? Oh, you know what? I have to look at the ephemeris, and I'm sorry. I thought that I fully prepared for this, but I didn't realize that Venus was going to be playing a part in this. And yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, is it in Aries? Sorry, already screwing it up. All right, so Venus will be in Aries, which is new beginnings. This could make for some volatile financial markets. So coming at the end of 2024, global economies, most global economies have stabilized. However, we are in an economic financial bubble, and that bubble is getting ready to burst. And I feel, especially because I've been in finance for 42 years, and I know these cycles, I feel that by March, maybe as late as April to June, we will be globally going into a recession. So you want to think about shoring up a lot of your finances, maybe refinancing, trying to get better rates. I just coached a couple of my friends through auto refinances and consolidating credit cards because, you know, this could be financially a volatile time. Also, you want to take a look at where your investments are. And I know some financial astrologers that have been pulling some of their investments out now and placing it in, you know, like money market accounts or CDs for some safer security. So just not to panic, but just know that I feel that it's coming, especially with all of these planetary changes. So Venus in Aries, another planet in Aries, retrograding. It ends on 4/12, but it takes quite a while for her to come out of her shadow. And I'll revisit that closer to that time frame. The eclipses. Now, this is pretty huge, and I took this image from my mentor, Judith Hill, at the Academy for Medical Astrology. And I just want to point out, because the lunar nodes are changing signs at the beginning of January of 2025, the majority of our eclipses now will be in Virgo or Pisces. We will have that one last eclipse in Aries, and it's only a partial, but we have a total lunar, two total lunars, one in Virgo, one in Pisces. So if you are of the mutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, Gemini, if you are a Virgo, Pisces, this will have huge eye-opening effects. Now, lunar eclipses are for purging and for getting rid of. And this is a south node, which is the dragon's tail. That is the toxic waste management, the waste dump. And this is a north node lunar eclipse. So things that we can't see that are hidden will be revealed. And that's even iffy because there are going to be a lot of things revealed very soon, especially with the drones that everybody's seeing. And I even got a picture of one of those drones over my house. Information is going to be coming out. It will not be the full truth or the whole truth. And it's to kind of tamp down any fears and people freaking out. More on that later. All right, planetary ingresses. So here we have the sun all the way to Uranus, sorry. And Pluto is not present in here, but mostly all of these planets are moving into new signs. So we have Pluto in Aquarius. And although Pluto has made its final entry into Aquarius in 2024, I wanted to bring it up because it is such a long transit. It's just about 20 years. And it will play a significant role in our lives over the next 20 years. Now, it has been dipping back and forth since 2023. So we've been getting tastes of that. But now he has finally entered the sign of the rebel. All right, the nodes of the moon moving from Aries Libra into Pisces Virgo. I'm sure the Aries and Libras are pretty happy about that. It would have been even more interesting if the nodes were moving into Aries Libra for 2025, because we have so much Aries energy on the horizon, which symbolizes new beginnings, the hero, the initiator, the go-getter. All right, then we have Neptune in Aries. Did I put the date? Oh, I didn't put the dates for the nodes. We have Neptune in Aries, 2025 through 2039-ish. Saturn in Aries, 25 through 28. Jupiter in Cancer, 25 through 26. And Uranus in Gemini from 25 to 2033. So breaking down the interpretation of the coming planetary ingresses, first, I think of the planet and its meaning and keywords. And then second, I think of the sign that it's entering and its meaning and keywords. Third, I look back in history to discover major or important events that occurred during the previous transit. And then fourth, in natal charts, which would be your birth chart, look to see the house or the area the transit will be occurring, and look for additional aspects to other planets. This is further observed through progressions and returns. And I know on my YouTube channel, I have an Astrology 101 video that can show you how to pull your own birth chart for free, or I will be opening up my books in January 2025 and would be more than happy to take a look at all of these aspects for you in your chart. And that's at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. Fifth, look for multiple testimonies within the charts. So what that means to me is just because a planet is passing through a certain area in your chart doesn't necessarily mean that something huge or detrimental is going to happen, especially the slower planets. It takes time for it to build. Will there be change? Yes. Will it be shocking? Possibly. But with the slower moving planets, you have enough time and build up. You're kind of given some warnings, except for Uranus. Uranus can pull the rug out from under you. Jupiter can pull the rug out from under you. Pluto, you see Pluto coming. Neptune, you might be a little delulu and not see Neptune changes coming. But when I say multiple testimonies, you want to look at your chart, or this is what I would do, is where is it passing through, and is it making at least two or more? I usually look for 3 contacts of your other planets and see what's happening. If I see multiple testimonies, multiple aspects of that transiting planet, then surely something big could be happening in your chart. So I know that if you're not an astrologer, that may have gone over your head, but this is how I interpret what's going on. All right, so Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, and it takes 248 years for him to return to a sign, bringing change, transformation, followed by a rebirth. The planet of intensity, power, and destruction, Pluto is traditionally ruled by Scorpio, Pluto traditionally rules Scorpio, as does Mars. Aquarius is the last air sign in the zodiac, traditionally ruled by Saturn. Modern ruler is Uranus, symbolizing structures and change, rebellion on a collective level, inclusivity, innovation. Together, expect big changes in governments, social interaction, medicine, AI, air travel, and technology. Revolution and evolution are on the agenda when it comes to Pluto in Aquarius. Together, this brings big changes for all people, regardless of your natal planets, because Aquarius is the people, all people. Pluto in Aquarius history. So the most notable is the American and French revolutions. And, we all know how that ended up. That's how America was built when we went into revolt against the British Crown. And also in France, when the people rose up over the king, don't let them eat cake. They wanted some food. But yeah, this is, quite a remarkable period of time for the entire world. And a lot of things happened during this time frame that began when Pluto was in Capricorn, and then it slowly built until it just couldn't go any longer, and then Pluto moves into Aquarius, and then we're in full out wars. But also the American Constitution was written and during this time in 1787, 10 years after Pluto went into Aquarius. So a lot of really wonderful innovations, revelations come out of this, but it does often begin with war or revolt. So in 1532 to 1553, this wasn't government, it was more religious reformations. King Henry VIII, not discovered, or invented, but started the Church of England. He broke away from the Catholics. There was like a Protestant Reformation, but also there was the discovery and allowance of different belief systems. I know Sikhism in India was discovered during this time, which, spins off of Buddhism and Hinduism. And, it's a more spiritual type of belief system. However, excuse me, even though there was an allowance of different belief systems, people were still persecuted for having different belief systems. And that hasn't changed in, 600 years. And here we are. The current global landscape is ripe for transformation as societies grapple with challenges like climate change, systemic inequality, issues that demand collective action reflective of Aquarian ideals. This upcoming transit encourages us to reclaim power collectively while addressing deep-seated issues within our social structures. And boy, do we not have the myriad of issues within our social structures. As seen historically during previous transit, there is a potential for both liberation and oppression, depending on how society navigates these transformative energies. Humanitarian evolution is called for. All right, the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon. The North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. So the North Node will be in Pisces, South Node in Virgo from January 11th until July 26th of 2026. This period marks a significant astrological shift that influences themes of spiritual healing, compassion, creativity, and imagination. The movement of the lunar nodes is crucial as it indicates collective and individual growth opportunities, guiding us toward our evolutionary path. This is an 18.6-year transit. So you're going to want to look back in time and see, where did you leave off? Maybe you're not even old enough. This is maybe your first time with the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So the themes here is a journey from rigidity to flow, embrace, uncharted waters, emotions, faith, spirituality, oneness with the universe, healing, openness, non-judgment, compassion, meditation, and welcome change. What you have to let go of, the Virgo South Node, perfectionism, control, overly analytical thinking, clinging to the material, criticizing yourself and others, hypochondria, worry, obsessing over the details, and inflexibility. That is really going to be a huge challenge for the entire globe, with the exception of, some small pockets. Historical dates are important to note as everything comes back in cycles. We are picking up where we may have left off from the last time the North Node was in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. Most notably was 2006 and 7, 1987 and 89 to 89, 69 to 70, and 1950 to 52. I only went back that far. If it's easy for you to look up and see if you go back even further. But so just go back to, if you have been alive this long, go back to 2006 through 2007. What was happening in your life during that time? What did you maybe not wrap up and finish that has to do with these embrace and release themes? because you're going to pick back up where that left off, and you're going to the next level of clearing and embracing. And you could also look at 87 through 89. What was happening there? Or were there any wounds that maybe, like, something unrequited, something that you started yet didn't finish? So I hopefully you get the idea of where I'm going, because you will see similar themes in your life, but they will have a different flavor because you have evolved as a human, hopefully, over the last almost 19 years, but you are still going to pick back up where this left off. Then we have Neptune in Aries from 25 through 39. So Neptune in Aries is a significant astrological transit that happens once every 165 years. So it is rare and it lasts for a long time. The last time Neptune was in Aries was from 1861 through almost 1875. The key dates. This year, Neptune will enter Aries March 30th of 25. That marks the beginning of this next transit. Neptune leaves Aries March of 2039 when it moves into Taurus. Now remember, it will enter, but it will be retrograding back into Pisces before it goes fully direct into Aries for the 2026 season. During this period, Neptune will influence the collective consciousness, ideals, creativity in ways that may encourage bold, pioneering visions and actions. However, Neptune's ethereal, elusive energy, combined with Aries' assertive and impulsive qualities, could bring both innovative breakthroughs and confusion or deception in terms of personal and societal goals. Neptune's influence is dreams and illusions, because Neptune governs the realm of dreams, intuition, imagination, and spirituality. That's why we're like a sponge right now. It is associated with things that are not easily grasped by the physical senses, emotions, fantasies, and the subconscious mind. Spirituality and higher ideals. Neptune is also linked with higher consciousness, transcendence, and the quest for divine wisdom. And here's one of the downsides: escapism and deception, because Neptune doesn't like to face, and this often goes true for Pisces, doesn't like to face reality. They like to live in that watery realm. And because Neptune can put a fog or a veil over things, or what some people know as a glamour, making something look better than it is, there could be a lot of deception, especially when it comes to financial dealings. So be really careful. This is going to be a time period of con jobs, people conning, scamming. So be really careful where and what you're investing in. It can bring confusion, deception, and a tendency to escape reality through substances like drinking and drugs. So yeah, be very careful. Fantasies or idealized visions of the world. Aries influence is action, independence, courage, and boldness, and impulsivity. So this will be a lot, especially because during this time, let me check my next slide. Oh, during this period of time, 2026, 25 to 26, Saturn will also be moving into Aries. And Saturn and Neptune are going to be doing this dance back and forth, coming together and separating, and coming together and separating. It's going to add in intensity like we've never seen before. So be on the lookout. There's a lot of unknown in 2025. We just don't know, but we have to prepare. We have to build these foundations just to be ready. So Neptune in Aries symbolism, it's visionary action, imaginative leadership. It's the spiritual warrior. It is confusing. We could be pioneering dreams and escaping through action. So visionary action, this placement can symbolize a person who is driven by idealistic visions and dreams, eager to act on them with passion and courage. They might pursue their spiritual or artistic goals with an intense pioneering spirit, eager to make their dreams a reality. So that's beautiful. The imaginative leadership, people with Neptune in Aries, or just that overall energy, may possess a unique ability to lead others with an inspiring vision. Though this could sometimes lead to frustration if their vision clashes with reality. The spiritual warrior, there's a sense of a spiritual quest for all of us, where one seeks to explore higher truths, pushing the boundaries of what they believe is possible. There could be a willingness to change established systems or societal norms in the name of a personal or collective awakening. This is also, especially at the 29th degree of Pisces, and with that sponge and absorption that we're very vulnerable to right now. A lot of people entering into cults, they're looking for something to believe in, but Neptune puts this fog over it because people that are getting caught up in cult-like thought processes don't even know what they are really following. There is a fog or a veil over what the real truth of everything is, of what the real truth people are. That's why it's going to be so important to be really discerning with who you are associating with, what you are feeding yourself with, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I can't stress that enough. While Aries pushes for quick action, Neptune's foggy, elusive nature might bring confusion or a lack of clarity. People with this placement may find themselves starting many projects, but having difficulty completing them, especially if the inspiration behind them is unclear or too idealized. So, like Aries, wants to rush into things, and Neptune is just like sitting back, chilling with a blunt or something, just like, oh, everything's great. It's groovy. I don't know where that groovy came from. It came from the 1960s. So pioneering dreams, when we may feel the drive to explore unconventional or innovative ways of achieving our own personal dreams, often seeking to redefine how things are done or explore new possibilities in a spiritual art, in spirituality, art, and technology. So Neptune is very much about the arts. In medical astrology, Neptune in Aries could bring a lot of inflammation if we are not taking good care of our bodies. It could also be breakthroughs in diagnoses, medical breakthroughs, but it's also poison. And so it also poisons the waters, poisons ourselves. It could be infection. So I'm going to have to take a look at that and break that down in another video, because that is my biggest concern. And then lastly, we have escaping through action. There's also the potential for using action as a form of escape, as Neptune's influence may lead some to channel their energies into frenetic activity to avoid confronting deeper emotional or spiritual issues. That's kind of like what a lot of people have been doing anyway for so long, keeping themselves so busy that they don't have to deal with, problems that are going on within or outside of themselves in their relationships, whether it's the family or their friends, or even the relationship to themselves. So that's something that we're going to have to be really careful for, because 2025 is such a year of really slowing down. But with all of this Aries energy, we're going to want to just keep going and going and going. So there could be a tendency to burn ourselves out, and then you're defeating the entire goal of 2025. All right, Saturn in Aries. Saturn will enter Aries May 24th of 25, will remain there until April of 28. Saturn is often referred to as the cosmic taskmaster in astrology, representing discipline, responsibility, and structure. When Saturn transits through Aries, a sign characterized by boldness, courage, and initiative, it creates a unique blend of energies that can significantly influence personal growth, behavior, and maturity. Saturn in Aries symbolizes a complex interplay between discipline and impulsiveness, independence and cooperation, as well as action-oriented determination tempered by caution. Conversely, there's also a risk of inertia, where individuals may feel so overwhelmed by the demands placed on them by both of these energies, leading them to procrastinate or avoid taking action altogether if they become too focused on potential obstacles rather than solutions. And I don't know if I'm feeling this energy, but trying to put together all of this information was so overwhelming for me that I needed to walk away from it for a little while, because my mind was on overload, thinking of how to present this, what to present. It just overwhelmed me to the point where I needed to escape. So is that the Neptune or is that Saturn? I don't know. Definitely Aries energy. The nodes are currently in their final degree of Aries and Libra. So we are wrapping up that season. New opportunities come with Saturn and Aries, as it can encourage people to remain open to new opportunities. There are fears. Saturn and Aries can bring about fears of not being good enough, strong enough, bright enough. People may also fear not meeting standards, losing their true self, or that no one will know the real them. Adaptability. Oh, I doubled that sentence. Pardon me for that, but this is a very adaptable transit. And it's disposing of what cannot be carried. So, Aries wants this mad dash, wants to keep going, and Saturn's just like, I'm going to have to unload these things that are holding me back because I can't move fast enough. So you're going to find that with all of these changes in the transits of these planets, that you're going to just naturally be dumping a lot of things, unless you're on the challenging side of that and you are having a hard time letting go of things. But it'll weigh you down otherwise. And we want to be dressed for the party for 2026, right? All right, now we also have Jupiter moving into Cancer. And this is just a 1-year transit. Jupiter spends about 1 year in each sign, but the change is significant because we're coming into new energy. That will occur on June 9th of 25, and it's a friendlier placement than Jupiter in Gemini because Jupiter in Gemini is in its detriment, its least favorite spot, as it is the opposite sign of the ruling sign of Sagittarius. Jupiter/Sagittarius is over the top to begin with. Combine that with the Quicksilver energy of Gemini, and there's just way too much information all at one time to process. So Jupiter likes, Jupiter Sagittarius likes to digest and enjoy and celebrate very largely, but there's so much coming at Jupiter when it's in Gemini, things get displaced. Jupiter's known as the planet of growth, abundance, and wisdom, embodies the principles of expansion and optimism. It encourages exploration, learning, and the pursuit of higher truths. When Jupiter enters Cancer, a water sign ruled by the moon, its energies blend with the themes of emotional security, nurturing, and intuition. This combination creates a unique symbolism that emphasizes personal growth through emotional connections and a sense of belonging. Now, keep in mind that this energy, because Cancer is ruled by the moon, the energy emotionally could be very up and down as the moon moves through a different sign every 2 to 2.5 days. So we could have a little bit of a roller coaster, high highs and low lows. Also, Jupiter in Cancer will have a tendency for overeating. And so if you have a tendency to pack on the pounds, or even if you traditionally do not, I want to caution you in advance that this could be a year of significant weight gain. And I have already mentioned that we really want to pay attention to our gut and our microbiome and eat very healthy. You want more plant-based in your diet, more exercise. So you're going to have to balance that out. During this transit, individuals are encouraged to foster deep emotional connections with family and friends. The nurturing qualities of Cancer enhances Jupiter's expansive nature, suggesting that true prosperity comes from creating safe spaces where love and support can flourish. So, if you are not feeling safe in situations, this is going to be a year where you've got to leave those situations. Otherwise, you're not fulfilling the energy of this planet. This period highlights the importance of emotional intelligence and understanding as pathways to personal fulfillment, with potential challenges related to overprotection and emotional indulgence. This transit offers a powerful opportunity for individuals to deepen their emotional connections while fostering personal development through supportive relationships. And I have a caution here at the bottom for excessive attachment, emotional dependence, codependency, and the difficulty of letting people, places, and situations and things go. Uranus in Gemini, 25 through 33. Uranus will move into Gemini on July 7th of 25 until 2032, 2033. Uranus is named after the Greek god of the sky and is the father of Kronos, Saturn, and the grandfather of Zeus, Jupiter. Uranus, the planet of innovation, sudden change, and rebellion, transits through each zodiac sign for about 7 years. Its transit through Gemini occurs roughly every 84 years. Below are the significant historical periods when Uranus was in Gemini. So we have the American Revolution, because the United States was born with Uranus in Gemini. We also have the American Civil War and World War II. So I also want to point out that those Aries is ruled traditionally by Mars, the god of war. I feel that we could be on the precipice as a world of possibly World War III, possibly a war of the worlds, meaning outer space of some sort. I know for a good possibility that we could see a repeat in French Revolution, American Revolution, American Civil War, and the UK. Pretty much, though, the world has been at war for all eternity in some way, shape, or form. But I'm talking about like significant happenings where we're really paying attention to, because there's wars happening all around the world at all times, whether you know that or not. All right, so this could bring a further advancements in digital communication on a positive note, artificial intelligence, shifts in social structures due to technological changes, through rebellion and evolution, and breakthroughs are possible. The transit of Uranus through Gemini has consistently been associated with breakthroughs in communication technology and shifts in how societies interact and exchange ideas with each other. Themes during Uranus in Gemini, we have technological innovation, changes in communication, educational reform, social movements, and economic shifts. Technology-wise, I would say there could be rapid developments in AI, technology, innovations related to communication devices, transportation systems, digital platforms, social media platforms, the potential for new technologies that enhance connectivity, such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, robots, and decentralized networks will be prominent. In communications, with Gemini's association with communication, the transit may lead to new forms of interaction among individuals and communities. Social media platforms could evolve significantly during this time, possibly leading to more decentralized or innovative ways for people to connect. Also, I feel that as we're figuring things out during this year, it's like we're looking for our people. We are looking for our tribe, people that truly connect with us with the same attributes that are important to us, the same values. But conversely, we're supposed to be coming together from a humanitarian point of view, but I feel like there's a good possibility that we're sectioning off. I can't describe what I'm seeing or feeling. It's like we come together, but we're separated. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but it's something I've been seeing. So education systems may undergo substantial changes as new methodologies emerge that emphasize flexibility and adaptability. The focus might shift towards a more collaborative learning environments that leverage technology for enhanced educational experiences. And I heard somebody say that children that are born now will probably never have to learn how to drive because everything will be automated. So they won't have to learn a lot of the things that we as adults had to learn because everything will be automated for them by the time they get to where we are now. The restless energy of Uranus combined with the mutable nature of Gemini may foster social movements advocating for change, issues related to freedom of expression and collective organization. That's what I was talking about, I think, with the sectioning off. Could gain momentum as people seek new ways to communicate their ideas and also their belief systems. And then economic shifts, business practices are expected to transform dramatically during this period. Traditional models may be challenged by innovative approaches that prioritize sustainability and community engagement over profit maximization. However, if I go back to these significant times, I want to also emphasize that Uranus in Gemini often brings financial collapse globally around the world. So, will that occur as soon as Uranus moves into Gemini? I would say no. I'd have to, I don't have the charts up, so I can't really even speculate. That could be something that I look into further down the road. I'm very, very concerned about the global financial situation and economy. And it's been building and it will, I think we will start to see the ramifications of that by March of 2025 globally through this period of time, through the end of July, especially with the eclipses that I talked about, because we had those eclipses occurring in March, I believe, right? Go back. We have March 13th, 14th, and then the 29th. These will be huge, especially this first one in Virgo. This could definitely mark a period of time where we see supply and demand in food, prices going up, supplies very low, then rebellion from it. So I don't know, but we will see, right? Okay. The challenges ahead for Uranus and Gemini. While the transit promises exciting developments, it also presents challenges. Instability. The disruptive nature of Uranus can lead to chaos as established systems may struggle to adapt. Polarization, as new ideas clash with traditional beliefs. Societal divisions may deepen before finding resolution. Restlessness. Individuals may experience feelings of anxiety, dissatisfaction as they navigate rapid changes in their environments. And wow, I got through that pretty quickly. Thank you for watching this. As we move through the year, I will continue to provide more information and insight for all these changes and transits. Like, subscribe, and follow me to stay up to date on all the social media socials at Expressions of the Universe. And then I have the direct links. I'll post that down, these links down in the YouTube video. They are on my website at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. Stop sharing. So when I said it's a lot, you may want to come back and watch this again. Definitely, like subscribe to my channel, follow me on the socials or on my blog so that when I do have the opportunity to start breaking all of this down as they come about, I'll give you more information. Like I said, I wanted to keep it high level so that I wasn't overwhelming you as much as I was overwhelmed, right? Let's see, was there anything else? I know that when I end this, I'm going to say, oh no, I wish I would have. I will be, if you heard in the beginning, I will be doing a separate 2025 card reading for all zodiac signs and for the collective. So stay tuned. I will be putting that out before the new year, probably around Christmas time, or sooner if I can get it done, right? Anyway, so happy new era. Happy 2025. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.